And here is the Writer's Almanac for Friday, January the 24th, 2020. It's the birthday of the writer who said, "I feel that a writer should always have some profession which brings him into close contact with the realities of life." And that was the novelist Vicky Baum, born in Vienna, 1888, author of the novel Grand Hotel. It's the birthday of Edith Wharton, born in New York City, 1862. Edith Newbold Jones. The Joneses were a prominent family. They were the Joneses that people wanted to keep up with. Edith Jones was not beautiful. She had red hair. She had big feet and hands. She wrote a novella at the age of 14, which her mother did not care for. Edith said, "I was never free from the oppressive sense that I had two absolutely inscrutable beings to please, God and my mother was the most inscrutable of the two." She married at 23 Teddy Wharton, who was a friend of her brother's. He was not interested in books. As years went on, he descended into mental illness. They built a 35-room mansion in the Berkshires, western Massachusetts, called The Mount. She had written a book about the decoration of houses, and she carried out her ideas in The Mount. And it was there that she began to write seriously. She woke up early in the morning. She wrote by hand, dropping the pages on the floor. By late morning, she'd tend to other things, and her secretary would type up the pages, and then Wharton would revise them. And the book was The House of Mirth. It was a bestseller in 1905. Edith Wharton said, "A woman's nature is like a great house full of rooms. There is the hall through which everyone passes in going in and out, the drawing room where one receives formal visits, the sitting room where the members of the family come and go, and in the innermost room the soul sits alone and waits for a footstep that never comes." It's the birthday of the zoologist Desmond Morris, born in Purton, England in 1928. He had studied and written about chimpanzees and other animals, and then he decided to write a book about human behavior as he had written about animal behavior. It was called The Naked Ape. It was an enormous bestseller in 1967. Here's a poem for today, a poem from 1889 by Edith Wharton, entitled Song. Let us be lovers to the end, O you, to whom my soul is given, whose smiles have turned this earth to heaven, fast holding hands as we descend life's pathway, devious and uneven. Let us be lovers to the end. Dear, let us make of time a friend to bind us closer with his cares, and though grief strike us unawares, no poisoned shaft that fate can send shall wound us through each other's prayers if we are lovers to the end. Let us be lovers to the end, and growing blind as we grow old, refuse forever to behold how age has made the shoulders bend and winter blanched the hair's young gold. Let us be lovers to the end. Whichever way our footsteps tend, be sure that if we walk together, they'll lead to realms of sunny weather, by shores where quiet waters wend. At eventide we shall go thither, if we are lovers to the end. A poem by Edith Wharton, her song, 1889. That's the Writer's Almanac for Friday, January the 24th. Funded by donations from listeners like you, now available on PRX for distribution by your local radio station. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.